Welcome to the Beginner's Mind. I'm Michelle Carrington, and I'm your guide along this journey. So we finished up the yamas, and the yamas tend to be practices, mindsets, principles that we apply externally, our interactions with the external world. And the niyamas are principles, practices, mindsets that we focus more on ourselves. And we bring it into our own being and how we personally interact with ourselves, basically, and how we treat ourselves and how we think about ourselves and those sorts of things. So the first of the niyamas is called Saucha, Saucha, and that is translated as purity. And when we think of that, we're going to apply it to our body, to our thoughts, and to the words that we speak. So that connection between all of those together and each one individually. We always begin the thought of purity with lightening our load. So taking some of that weight off of us that tends to collect as impurities build up. So we're purifying by lightening our load. In a physical sense, we're going to think about purifying our body, and you can apply that as to things as simple as taking a shower and washing our hands. That's one way to practice cleanliness and purity with our body. Another way is to think about what we put into our bodies, what we eat, what we drink, how we nourish ourselves, and that sort of thing. And we're also going to go a little bit deeper, or we are going a little bit deeper, as to how the thoughts that we think and the words that we speak actually have a profound effect on our physical body. So how can we start thinking about purifying our thoughts and being pure in the words that we speak? How do we do that? How does that affect us? Well, one of the things that we want to think about, and this came directly from the book, the Yamas and Niyamas, is that when we attempt to change, judge, criticize, alter, control, manipulate, pretend, be disappointed, or disassociate from our experiences, that's when we begin to fail ourselves. That's when we get out of harmony with who we truly are. So I'm going to repeat those things. When we attempt to change, judge, criticize, alter, control, manipulate, pretend, be disappointed, or disassociate from our experiences, we begin to fail ourselves. So purity requires us to be present with life, be present with each life experience without that judgment or control or manipulation or setting an attachment to the expectations that are associated with those things. And oftentimes we think about multitasking. Multitasking just layers and layers and layers of things on our plate. And that multitasking in itself, what we do is little by little disassociate ourselves from the task at hand by layering more tasks on. When we can choose to be present with one thing at a time, we can create clarity and purity. And just even saying that, just even feeling that, you can breathe easier. So sometimes when we think about our breath, and we've brought our breath through most of this journey, our breath is directly related. That physical thing that's happening in our body every single moment, that breath is definitely specifically related to the amount of impurities that we are layering onto or into or around our bodies. So whether we're multitasking, like physically with tasks, multitasking by layering things on us physically, we want to lighten that load and focus on just one thing at a time. When we slow down, we can connect with each moment. So purity really asks us to slow down. Purity asks us to be present with our experience, with our thoughts, with our words. And when we think about the concept of being pure with our words or pure with our thoughts, pure with the people that we associate with. We may have heard the expression that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so who are those 5 people that you're spending the most time with? Who are those 5 people that you're layering your experiences around? Are you in a space where you're feeling uplifted? Are you noticing? You don't have to judge it. You can just notice it and be aware of if it's heavy or light. You don't have to get specifically of where it's heavy or light and judge it and criticize it. You can just say, do I feel heavy or light? Do I feel heavy or light with this person? Do I feel heavy or light with this food? Do I feel heavy or light with this entertainment that I choose? Do I feel heavy or light with the words that come out of my mouth? All of those things are ways that we can incorporate purity. And it's kind of a balance, because we want to know if we feel heavy or light, but not necessarily having to judge it. We can just make a choice about it. Say, well, this makes me feel light, so I'm going to go in that direction. This makes me feel heavy. I'm going to steer away from that direction. So something to think about, something to take along with you. And I'd love to hear your comments, your questions, what you thought about the subject of purity. I'm Michelle Carrington. Thanks. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.